So hello and welcome back to part 2 of the first estimate. Okay, so that we can see how it's done step by step. So here we go. So we go back and we open the page 1. Now page 1 on the bottom has some buttons which I'm covering. So here is without me, or me moved, and you can see that it's assembly, rental service, and save. Now to run this software properly, you're gonna have to have a screen that's the 1K. So running it on a laptop is still doable, and I think it's cool, but you need to have the full screen, what is it, the 1080. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the line, okay, and all I have to do is press delete and the line goes away. Okay, so the first material that I wanted was an 1104L box. The next one is a three-way switch. Now here it is. If I have my find fast code, and I think I put it as three-way, and will that work? No, it doesn't. Okay, so if this is not a real code, you can write in whatever you want. This is one of the features that I really wanted in this software if I would ever really need to use it for real again. So it's not in the find fast code. I can delete that. I just have to select it, delete it, and I go on the bottom. Oops, it opens for me. Okay, so, because it's looking for nothing. Nothing found. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go on switch, and I know I'm not going to find anything in the, because that's part of the code. We search the description, and here we go, a whole bunch. So we click the forward button again and again until we find what we wanted, and what I wanted was a three-way switch, and a three-way switch is right here, Decora. Okay, so I double click the picture. The two-way switch is on the bottom. I know I need 2 of them. It will give me 1 as a default, and I hit the accept button and it goes into my grid. Now I can remove this, I can add it, I can not add it, but I can modify it. Let's say the labor is not right, I want it to be a little bit more. I can change it 4.4, okay, and it will recalculate. I think it's recalculated, yeah, okay, so it recalculates everything. Now how cool is that? Okay, so now the next one is going to be a switch cover, a Decora, a single switch cover. Okay, so we're going to go again in material. We're going to go for switch. Search this, and forward, that's a regular switch cover. We want a Decora switch cover of 1 gang, and we don't have any. I know that they're here. Okay, so we exit this. Switch. Let's get rid of that. Material. What was it? Cover? I think I used switch before. Cover. You gotta put the words that you're gonna be able to find after. Oh, I know what I did. It was Decora. Decora. There you go. Okay, and this is another little bug that I have in my program. Whereas if I search again, there you go. When I search again, what happens is that it doesn't load the pictures correctly. This is something I'm going to be fixing shortly. it shouldn't be a big deal. So here's a 2 gang, and I didn't have the 1 gang. That's odd. So we're going to take the Cora single pole switch, wall plates, 1 gang. Here's the Decora wall plate that I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this. I'm going to accept it. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the number. I'm going to go to material, Control V, find, and this is where I don't have. So let's put up a very, very little amount, 0.5, just to show that something was used up in time. And a single one what I remembered was 0.74 cents. And then I went into desktop, database pictures, material pictures, and then we had switches. And here's the Decora cover 1 gang. And we add, and you see, so we added everything here. And if we want to add a find fast code, we can, and we put, let's say, the Decora 1G. Okay, and then we update it. Done. Exit. We go back to the first page, and let's say we try out. We need the wall plates. This is the Decora 1 gang. Oh, you see now it shows up that it has a picture. The pictures, if you click next to the letters, next to the text, the numbers, you're going to get nothing. If you click on the text itself, then it'll find it and display the picture. Okay, so this one, let's just for the fun of it, let's try Decora 1 gang, and there you go, it found it. So if you remembered your own code, the words that you use, like, it's a good idea if you use them a lot to kind of like do a list and hang it somewhere, because there's some that you won't use as often. But if you use these codes, you don't have to remember exactly the whole thing that's from the supplier. And especially if you change from suppliers, the code, even though it's from the same manufacturer, it changes sometimes. Okay, so you can't like really win with this thing. So there you go. So another way of finding it. So now this, to remove it, I just have to remove, I can remove either one. So let's say I take this one out, and the lines, they all line themselves up again. Okay, so now for that's the last one, 1, 2, 3, did it. Okay, and let's say for a note, I can write down that, let's say, the basement is not finished. Now, why would you write things like this down? Well, this is to remember. I mean, let's say, for example, in a month, somebody asks you for the reason why you did so little time. You know, like right now, with all of the labor that comes off of the devices that we put, like all of the pieces, not all pieces have a labor charge on it, like a labor amount of time that it takes for somebody to manipulate this. Okay, and a lot of these kind of units, they're best suited for bigger construction sites. Okay, because when you're doing something one time, it takes a you know, there's the startup and the wind down. So you have to figure that in your unit cost, okay, for doing that one thing. So you can change it with this software. You can change it the way you want. There's other more complicated softwares that'll have these ranges, but most people that will find this software interesting are going to be smaller contractors, because this is made for the small, not necessarily a smaller contractor, but this can be also for the service department of a larger contractor, because it all works in the same way. It's the material associated with the labor. So if you don't have enough labor, let's say your labor is missing, you take a look at the labor, and up here we have 1 hour, and you say to yourself, for running the wire, well, the wire's not in there yet, okay, but even with the wire, it's not going to be a lot, okay, so it has to be bumped up. So there's two ways of bumping it up. One is you change the labor rate that we have in our column, or you put some padding where you add, like, for the labor installation, so you can erase all of the labor that's in the column, and you just put, let's say we would, let's do it this way. Let's add the wire. Okay, the wire is, let's say, 7 meters. So let's go here, material, and I started all of my wire cable with CAB. Okay, câblage. It's in French. We're used to using that, and I search on the code, because I know that the codes all start with CAB, and I have a 314, so here it is. I double click it. Now I have it also in the grid up above. In the grid up above, you can click off of this just the same. So, like, pick 3, this is this one here, pick 4. This is the same one. So if we click on this, it does the same thing. Okay, so here in the quantity, we're going to say we're going to put 7, because it's in meters, and the labor is going to be much more than 0.04, but let's just accept it. Okay, so now the whole thing is 1 hour and 1.33 hours. Okay, this is decimal hours, so 1 1/3 hours. So I say that that's not enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. Deleted all of that, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to put 1, enter, and I'm going to put the unit as hour. Hourly, enter, and in the code I'm going to just write down the labor, enter, and here is, I'm going to put the time to fish the wire. Okay, let's say we're going to go to time to drill a hole and fish wire. Okay, so we have that, and what we're going to do, we hit enter. There is no material cost because the material has been already calculated. So we're going to put, let's say, the labor in here, and we're going to put it as 2 hours because it's a 2-hour job. And we hit enter, and it's going to calculate us 2 hours. Okay. We could have put 1 hour here and quantity of 2, which would have worked out just the same. Let's try that out. We're going to put 1 here and 2 there, and it would come out to the same thing. Okay, so there is one other way that it can be done, is increasing the difficulty. So let's say we would go with a difficulty of 1.5. Okay, and then you see it recalculates everything according to the difficulty, you know, the percentage of difficulty. So difficulty most of the time should be at 1.1, at 1, not 1.1. Okay, and personally, the way I see it is per case on these small jobs, you just add a half hour or 1 hour, 15 minutes more to whatever task it is that you're doing. Okay, so there's a lot of them, but you know, most of the time you're sending guys for, you know, the half a day or the whole day, or if that's not your intention, the guy will do exactly that. So it's good to know how much it'll be for the day. The guy has to be paid for the day, and you try to round it off or fit it in so it works for it's a day's work. Okay, so that's going to be it for part 2. I think this is going to be long enough, and stay tuned for part 3, where we're going to continue doing this estimate and discussing all the different ways that it can be done with this software, how it could be done simply. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in part 3.